April 17th, 2007. Gonville Caius College, Cambridge, is about to celebrate a very special occasion. The college, which is only a little short of 660 years old, has invited many of its most generous benefactors to a magnificent luncheon in the college hall. Suitably fortified for the afternoon, the benefactors gather across the river in the very newest of the college buildings to await the arrival of an important guest. His Royal Highness Prince Philip is today celebrating the 30th anniversary of his becoming Chancellor of Cambridge University. Professor Stephen Hawking, possibly the most famous scientist in the world, has been a Fellow of Gonville Caius College for more than 40 years. He brought up his 3 children while living in a college house at 5 West Road, and it was there that he wrote his scientific bestseller, A Brief History of Time. When the building had to be demolished, Stephen Hawking was devastated, but gracious enough to take part in the ceremony of cutting the first turf for a new building to replace it.
I have been a Fellow of Caius, or Caius, as my American speech synthesizer pronounces it, for more than 40 years. The college supported me in the early years as a research fellow, until I got a faculty position, and I'm very grateful to them for that. For many years I lived in a college house, on the site of what is now the new West Road building. My college room once belonged to Joseph Needham, the Chinese scholar and former master of the college. His Chinese wife wrote those characters on the wall. They mean, the person may leave, but their influence remains. I hope the same will be said of me.
This is a student common room. Chancellor, Vice-Chancellor, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me the greatest pleasure, Chancellor, to welcome you to Gonville Caius College today on your first visit under my mastership. We are here to celebrate the opening and naming of this magnificent building, the largest project undertaken by the college since the construction of Harvey Court next door over 40 years ago. As you have seen, Chancellor, it is already home for 75 first-year students. It provides accommodation for 8 fellows, and it also offers facilities for conference guests in university vacations. The building has been long in gestation, with the first plans drawn up over 10 years ago. These were given fresh impetus by my predecessor, Neil McKendrick, in the new century, and were finalized and executed with great dispatch in time for the beginning of the current academic year. The project also generated an extraordinary level of support from Caians and friends of the college, and I am delighted that so many of them have been able to join us today. Almost 2,000 Caians have pledged and contributed over £10 million towards the cost of construction. We are deeply indebted to everyone. Every wing of the building, every fellow's set, every supervision room, and every student room bears the name of someone who has donated to the building or has been commemorated in a donation. Stephen Hawking cannot join us in person today. It is characteristic of his indomitable spirit of adventure that he is currently in Texas, preparing for a flight into near space, which will enable him to experience weightlessness. But he has recorded a short film, and we shall show this in a moment.
I am very honored that this beautiful building will bear my name. I lived in a Victorian house on this site for 15 years. It was here that my children grew up, and that I wrote my popular book, A Brief History of Time. It was surreal to see my former home being demolished, but it was sold, decrepit, and accommodated only my family and a few students. By contrast, this splendid new building has 75 student rooms and 8 fellow sets. It was paid for by over 2,000 gifts from members and benefactors of the college. It is, in my opinion, the best recent building in Cambridge. I am proud to be associated with it.
The opening of a new building, especially the first new building in the college's history, to be funded by nearly 2,000 members and friends of the college, is a significant landmark.
You're about to see the world's most experienced pluck unveiler at work. And you'd be surprised how many there are in Cambridge.
The achievements of the centuries are marked and recorded by college buildings: Gonville Court, Caius Court, Tree Court, the Waterhouse Building, St Michael's Court, Harvey Court, and now the Stephen Hawking Building. All of these buildings represented belief in the future, specifically belief in the ability of the students of the future to make the world a better place. In the centuries to come, these names will be remembered: Gonville and Caius, Harvey and Hawking, and people will celebrate the idealism of those who believe that the best education in the world really can make a difference.